In this example, we will be finding the square root of 12. In order to find the square root of 12, we'll first review a math rule, which is the square root of a times b is equal to the square root of a times the square root of b, meaning that if we have two numbers multiplied inside of a square root, we can separate them out into their own individual square roots. To apply this to 12, we first need to look at some factors of 12. Factors of 12 include 4 and 3. So I chose 4 because 4 is a perfect square, which will help us simplify in the future. Now we can look at the square root of 12 again and see that it will be equal to the square root of 4 times 3. Then if we apply our math rule, we can then write it as the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. And the square root of 4 is 2 because 2 times 2 gives us 4. Now we can rewrite the square root of 12 as 2 times the square root of 3. Now this is our most simplified version of the square root of 12. However, we can also look at estimating the square root of 12. In order to estimate the square root of 12, we can look at perfect squares nearby. 3 squared gives us 9, and 4 squared gives us 16. So we can see that 12 is between 9 and 16. Therefore, we can rewrite this inequality as the square root of 9 is less than the square root of 12, which is less than the square root of 16. Because 3 squared gives us 9, the square root of 9 is going to be 3. Because 4 squared is 16, the square root of 16 will be 4. Therefore, the square root of 12 is between 3 and 4. In order to find the integer that the square root of 12 is closest to, we will look at the difference between 12 and the perfect squares. So we'll do 12 minus 9 to give us 3, and 16 minus 12 to give us 4. Because 3 is smaller than 4, we can see that 3 will be closer to the square root of 12 than 4 will be. Therefore, we can estimate the square root of 12 as approximately 3.